and welcome to Bear Clooney Watches channel. Please allow me to apologize to all of you for a lack of the content in last couple of weeks. I was just very busy and I did not find time to create content for this channel. Also, in the last couple of weeks, specifically on January 20th, 2019, I was privileged to celebrate 1 year of this channel, and it's a truly nice feeling knowing that there are some people that find my channel interesting, they're supporting it. We're reaching almost 5,000 subscribers, which I never expected. And I'm genuinely thankful to all of you for allowing me to be part of your hobby. Even though I did not create any content, I was still very active in the hobby, in the community. I watched some videos, I followed the things on the Facebook, in the forums, and I noticed there is a subject rising up in the forums, in Facebook and YouTube, in relation to the so-called Rolex bubble. Not bubble back, bubble. And I wanted to give my opinion on it. So for those who are not familiar what this is all about, in short terms, in the last couple of years, it's been relatively difficult to purchase steel Rolex watches, Rolex sports watches, in authorized dealers for retail. And you go into the authorized dealer, you look at their cases, and you simply don't see the sports pieces in steel. So it creates a certain mania, for a lack of a better word. And then on a secondary market, the prices are going up above retail. And then there are among those even pieces who are even more in demand for their uniqueness, for a lack of a better word again, such as the green Hulk Submariner, such as the blue and black Bruiser, the Batman Rolex GMT Master 2, such as black and white steel Daytona, and obviously Rolex GMT Master 2, so-called Pepsi red and blue ceramic dial. So, what's a bubble? Well, I would like to explain bubble in certain terms. It is when a certain item, certain product becomes so much in demand that it creates a specific mania, and prices are exceeding norms that should be attributed to that specific product. There is a very interesting analysis done on what bubble really is from this gentleman, Pradeep Singh, I believe his name is, where he actually talks about situation in the 16th century in Holland, where Holland became sea merchant power, and they were trading a lot with the East and Asia, bringing all kind of products, creating a lot of rich people in that region of Holland. And among those rich people, they started to kind of appreciate and value tulips, which were imported at that time to Holland. So tulip was not something very common as we imagine in Holland today. So tulips were becoming a flower of the status symbol, and they were really becoming more and more pricey, more valuable. So demand was growing. There was more and more wealthy people who wanted the tulips. There was not enough tulips, and there you go, prices go up. So So what happens? Some type of virus attacks the tulips. They were in Holland, giving them, some of them, a very unique color, which was like a fiery color. Now these samples become even more in demand and even more valuable, that at one point, believe it or not, people were paying 10 times average salary for a tulip. So there is your bubble. So how this bubble ends? Mr. Singh explains that as that people come to the common realization that just naturally happens. And that common realization does it. It basically bursts the bubble. And then it is just a drop of significant speed. So something that was valued at 10 times the average salary drops to just minuscule value. Bubble has burst. Then we had recently, and you hear people talking about it all the time, the real estate market bubble, the house selling market bubble. But that one kind of has its ups and downs, it goes through the cycles. So, I mean, let's talk about Toronto house market. I have been in Canada since 1988. And I've been listening about that bubble is going to burst and bubble is going to burst. And never bursted. I mean, the real estate in Toronto keeps going up and up. But is it exceeding the value, the nominal value, the value that can be attributed to the product? Because there is a big difference between a property in Toronto, Rolex watch, and a tulip. It is evident that tulip is genuine bubble, product that can be multiplied, and through the time, you will be growing more and more tulips. Kind of like what Richmond does with their watches when prices go up. So, bubble bursts. Now, when it comes to houses and when it comes to Rolex, and that's a specific subject of this video, this topic of this video, is bubble going to burst? Let's remember something. Rolex has done a masterful job over many decades of cultivating intense brand desire and loyalty by effective marketing, by controlling production, by providing quality product. And they haven't changed that a bit. They're very, very specific on it. And with this demand that exists for these sports steel Rolex watches, many other players in this game would be looking at the short game. What I mean by short game, cash now. Richmond. You know, there is a demand. I'm going to produce so many more of these watches beyond my ability, if necessary, sacrificing value retention, sacrificing maybe even quality control, and betraying my loyal customers that have been loyal to Rolex for decades. Is Rolex going to do that? No. And this is why I think it is slightly delusional to expect some bombacious, some big burst of the bubble, which is not really a bubble. It's just a mid-game. Well, what I mean by that, the gray market dealers are seeing the opportunity because of the increased demand and not increased production to cash on that situation. Now, that price might go up and down depending on demand and depending on availability of the product. But that's not bursting the bubble. That's not even the bubble. You know, I have been listening that Daytona bubble is going to burst for decades as well. And it never, ever happened. And it never will. I really don't have a crystal ball. But analytically, if we are following trend, if we are just simply looking at trends from the decades prior to this, Rolex has never been part of the bubble or bursting bubble situation. There are watches that bubble burst already. You want examples? Well, let's talk Panerai. Watch that was truly in demand, watch that was managed poorly, and watch that simply plummeted on a value in a secondary market. That I can't see ever happen to Rolex. You know, when I see Rolex supplying Yoma shop with so many watches at 60% discount so that Yoma can sell them at 30% or 40% discount, I would become worried. Gray market dealers, from the angle of being there to purchase less wanted watches, get the more wanted watch, and then doing margins on it to achieve some type of profit, that's always going to exist. That's a game. And Rolex and Patek are providing great product, great value retention, and these are not companies that are jumping into a panic mode or opportunity mode. They are steady. They're going and taking their path exactly as they did, and they see that to be successful. So, in short terms, maybe there is elements of Rolex bubble in the aspect of the secondary gray market. Is it going to burst? Not really, because it's being matched with demand, and it's being matched with supply, and it's being matched with circumstances relevant to what creates that difference. Finding a couple of watches in your local AD, or seeing that few appeared in your region in the last period, could be also a result of the lower demand in the first quarter of the year. But it's very circumstantial, and you need to look at things through big picture. For those that are hoping and thinking that eventually they'll be able to buy Rolex sub in Yoma shop at 40% discount, think again. That's never going to happen. For those who are hoping that Pepsi or Daytona are going to drop in price on the secondary market, yeah, you know what? It could, but it could also go the other way. And we've seen with Daytona, even before Ceramic One, where the price keeps shooting up. Rolex does not increase production. Rolex is a very disciplined company. And this is why Rolex customer feels confident buying their product. Because when they're buying their product, they know they're not going to get burnt. Even if it's less in demand product. So the summary is, the bubble bursted for many brands. Panerai, Omega, IWC. Rolex Bubble is almost natural part of the growth of Rolex, of love for Rolex, even among non-watch enthusiasts. Rolex is a symbol of achievement. Rolex is a watch that is wanted by those who don't know anything about watches, who are simply looking at it as a nice luxury item that symbolically enhances moment in their life. Rolex bubble, no. To burst, no. Variation in pricing on the secondary market, yeah. Depending on the time of the year, demands what new product comes this year in the Baselworld, what becomes a little more or less popular. That's about it. That is Bear Clooney's point of view on this subject. I hope you get my thought, my idea on this. And I would like to hear from you. What do you think about this issue? Please leave the comment below. Please subscribe to my channel. Please continue supporting Bear Clooney Watches channel. And at the end, just all the best to all of you.